The idea started small, like they always do. My finger traced a line, a long, winding line heading north. Ladakh. It felt distant, almost mythical. My trusty Royal Enfield became my world. I spent days with it, getting to know every nut and bolt. Then came the packing. It was a puzzle, fitting a life into a few panniers. The food of Lucknow was a farewell feast. That last night in Lucknow was sleepless. The bike was packed and ready, gleaming under a single streetlight. I went over the route in my head for the 100th time. I felt a knot of nerves and pure, unadulterated excitement in my stomach. This was it, the start of something big. I wasn't just leaving a city. I was leaving my comfort zone. I was riding towards a challenge, towards an experience that I knew deep down would change me in some way. The road was calling. The first few days were a blur of highways. Leaving Lucknow, the landscape was flat and familiar. Endless fields of green stretched out on either side of the road. It was a rhythm. Ride, stop for chai, ride again. The people I met were curious. At every stop, men would gather around the bike. They'd ask where I was from, where I was going. When I said Ladakh, their eyes would widen. They'd wish me luck and offer me tea. These small interactions were the fuel that kept me going. The food changed with the landscape. The rich kebabs of Lucknow were replaced by the simple, hearty meals of the dhabas. I'd sit on a simple wooden bench and eat dal with hot, fresh rotis. Trucks thundered past, painted in bright colors. Families on scooters weaved through the traffic. As I rode further north, past Delhi and into Punjab, I saw the first hint of what was to come. The flat plains began to ripple. Small hills appeared on the horizon. The air started to feel different too. It was a little cleaner, a little cooler. My bike hummed along, a constant companion. We were a team, the bike and I. There were long, straight stretches of road where I could just think, or not think at all, just be present, feel the wind, hear the engine, watch the world slide by. It was a kind of meditation, and the mountains waiting for me. The real challenge began after Manali. The road narrowed and began to climb. Smooth tarmac gave way to gravel and dirt. My bike had been steady on the plains. Now it had to work harder. And so did I. The first major obstacle was a water crossing. A stream, swollen with melted snow, had flooded the road. I watched other vehicles struggle through it. My heart was pounding. I took a deep breath. I picked a line and went for it. Ice-cold water splashed over my boots. The bike skidded on loose rocks. For a moment I thought I was going down. I held on. Somehow I made it to the other side, shaking with adrenaline. Another challenge was the altitude. As I climbed, the air got thinner. I could feel it in my lungs. Every breath was an effort. My head started to ache. I had to slow down. I drank water and took frequent breaks. The weather was a fickle beast. Dark clouds rolling in over the peaks. I got caught in a sudden hailstorm on a pass. Hailstones stung my face. I pulled over and sheltered under a rocky overhang. I was cold and miserable. On a lonely road, I felt a wobble in the rear wheel, a puncture. My heart sank. Nothing around for miles, just mountains and sky. I had prepared for this. Slow, frustrating work. My hands were cold and clumsy. I felt incredible accomplishment. I had fixed it myself. Leaving the challenges behind, the journey became a spectacle of nature. The landscape was like nothing I had ever seen. The mountains were immense. They weren't just big, they felt ancient and powerful. They were painted in shades of brown, grey and purple. Snow-capped peaks glistened in the distance like jagged teeth against the deep blue sky. The road was a thin ribbon carved into the side of these giants. I felt so small, so insignificant in the face of such grandeur. It was humbling, honestly. I would stop the bike often, just to stand in silence and try to take it all in. The scale of it was impossible to capture in a photograph. It was something you had to feel in your bones. The valleys were a stark contrast to the barren peaks. They were pockets of life in the high-altitude desert. In places like the Nubra Valley, patches of green appeared. Groves of poplar trees stood tall. I rode through tiny villages where life seemed to move at a different pace. People worked in their fields. Children played by the side of the road. They would wave as I passed. In the small towns and roadside cafes, I tried Ladakhi food for the first time. Thukpa, hearty noodle soup, momos, steamed vegetable dumplings, butter tea, salty, rich cups. It was perfect for the cold climate. Sharing a meal with local people was a way to connect. We might not have shared a language, but we could share a smile and a plate of food. The feeling of riding through this landscape was one of pure freedom. The road twisted, turned, climbed and descended. Every corner revealed a new vista, more spectacular than the last. I was completely in the moment. Just the rumble of the engine, the feeling of the wind on my face, and the incredible beauty all around me. Sometimes I would whoop with joy inside my helmet. It was a feeling of being completely and utterly alive. The final push into Leh felt surreal. After days of riding through remote, empty landscapes, seeing a town appear in the valley was a strange sight. Monasteries, or gompas, clung to the hillsides, their white walls and red roofs standing out against the brown mountains. The prayer flags were everywhere now, fluttering in the wind, sending their prayers out across the world. Riding into the main market of Leh was a moment I will never forget. My bike was dusty and mud-splattered. I was tired, my body ached. I hadn't had a proper shower in days, but I had a massive grin on my face. I had done it. I had ridden from the bustling plains of Lucknow to this incredible town nestled in the Himalayas. I found a guest house, parked my bike, and just stood there for a minute, letting it all sink in. The journey was over. The feeling wasn't just happiness. It was a deep, quiet sense of achievement. The lessons from the road are a part of me now. I learned that the world is a big, beautiful place and most people are kind. I learned that I am stronger and more capable than I ever thought I was. I learned that facing challenges and overcoming them is what makes you grow. A journey like this strips you down to your essence. It teaches you to appreciate the small things. A hot cup of tea, a warm bed, a smile from a stranger. Standing in Ladakh, looking at the mountains that I had just crossed, I felt like a different person from the one who had left Lucknow. The journey had tested me, and it had rewarded me. It had filled me with stories and memories that will last a lifetime. It had shown me the beauty of my own country and the kindness of its people. And it had lit a fire in me, a desire for more adventure. Because the end of one journey is always, in some way, the beginning of the next. The map is always there, waiting,